All right, welcome to Behind the Scenes. Today in studio, we have Josh from Birdfish. How you doing, bud?
Good, thanks, Joe.
So why don't you tell our viewers, give me some history and how you got involved and sort of the origin story of Birdfish.
Yeah, origin story is fun. We're homebrewers.
Okay.
Before business, just having fun in the garage and kind of, brewing beer. It was our passion, and it's all that mattered. Inviting people to the garage to share our beer, try our beer, and we got enough encouragement over a 5-year period from 2010, 2015 to, take that next step. And we started a small tap room, very small tap room in Columbiana in 2015 we opened. It was a 1,200 square foot space, including brewing space, and seated 50 people, I think. And from there, it was like, let's see how this goes. We brewed beer, 250 one-barrel batches a year. So, sometimes around that for 2 years or so, and decided to, the feedback from customers and demand for our beer. And we saw, wholesale accounts, bars, restaurants asking for some of our beer. And we're like, all right, we think we could take it to the next level. So it was, a period of, I have 3 other business partners, of all of us slowly coming on, somewhat full-time or more involved with the brewery and the process and the business. And we opened up our production facility, which is where we are currently on 140 East Park Avenue, just south of, or east of the Circle in downtown Columbiana. We brew, that's 2017 till now. Slowly grew our tap room space, and we're brewing about, in gallons, probably about 35,000 gallons a year in beer.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are the garage band scaling story, though. That's awesome. Love it. So what'd you do before Birdfish? Where'd you come from?
Well, I was an industrial packaging company based out of Columbiana, Lisbon area. They're currently in Lisbon. So I worked for a small business and learned a lot from, running a business, helping to run their business. So it's definitely helped me with my business currently. So it was called Global Pack.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Lisbon currently.
Okay, nice. And so the team, like, what's your structure? How many employees do you have, and what's that made of?
I think we're about 25 bartenders. We have one sales, delivery, marketing, kind of.
Lots of hats.
Yeah, lots of hats. His name's Rooster, Jared Oliver. His nickname is Rooster.
Nice.
And he does a lot for us. I mean, in the summer months, there's not as much to distribute because a lot of bars and restaurants pick up. So kind of maybe focus a little bit more time on, he's a great photographer and videographer, and put some stuff together for us for social medias and our website and stuff like that.
So you're the master brewer, I'm assuming?
No, I feel like I'm just the janitor most times. I have 2 other partners that,
okay.
My brother-in-law, Greg, and my cousin, Jared, and they're pretty much over all of production. So out of the 35,000 gallons of beer we brew a year, they're pretty much all hands-on production.
Okay. And I know there's a lot of science that goes into making really good beer. Like, who's your mad scientist?
I'd probably say Jared is more involved with recipe formulation, but Greg is heavily involved in that too. There's a lot to do with water profile adjustments. We have a reverse osmosis water system there that kind of like starts our water profile from scratch for certain lagers. So it helps, we also do, some beers, even IPAs will start with 50% RO water versus the, city water just going through a charcoal filter, and then make our adjustments from there to meet water profiles to hit those, certain levels of bitterness or, whatever beer styles we're trying to brew.
So you're scaling, going from like, I'm a home brewer and now I think I could do this, commercially. Like, tell me what went into that that moment.
I think we're still avid home brewers. I think. I mean, I don't.
Just with
I
a
don't
bigger
know.
place.
We've learned a lot. I think the one thing that some people that start a brewery will go into, hey, I brewed one batch of beer at home. I like this. I have money. I'm going to start 10. We're on a 7-barrel system, so it's about 220 gallon batches, but we double batch, quad batch into certain tanks. They'll jump from being a home brewer, and then immediately it'll start with a 15, 20 barrel system, with not much experience. We were lucky because we had 2 years and 500 brews under our belt, trying to kind of dial in a certain recipe. So like our most popular beer right now and distribution in the tap room is our hazy IPA, Too Hip to Sip. So we brewed that beer probably 30 times before we finally we'll change this dry hopping method, or we'll change, when we're adding the Whirlpool hops or what hops we're adding. And then we're comparing them side by side with, other beers that we brewed, and we decide this is the beer we want to take to the next level as far as, when we get to production. Now, when we did go through a brewing class with Portland Kettle Works, which is our equipment manufacturer, for a week or so out in Portland, just to understand how their system works together and the best processes for creating great beer. So, I mean, it's not like we just, the equipment showed up and we're, right.
Well, I had a neighbor who really prided himself on being able to make his own homemade wine and beer, and it was the worst tasting stuff. It was vinegar and like chunky skunk water. It was awful, but you couldn't tell him that it was making garbage stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of home brewers too that are out there that it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there's so much different things you could do as a home brewer, and fun. It's fun to get together with other people that have a passion for brewing beer and, changing stuff, and they're all, mechanically inclined or, good at creating their own system or what works for them. So it's cool.
What's the craziest recipe that you guys at least tried, and any of them succeed?
I mean, we've done Maruga Scorpion, Pink Guava Goza sour beer before, and just a small batch. We probably got more, took more chances on a 1-barrel system, because it's easier to dump a 1-barrel batch, 31-gallon batch, and dump a 220-gallon batch. Right. So, but we still take those chances. Last week we brewed a beer with 14 pounds of freshly picked basil, which is actually a friend that was a home brewer that passed a couple years ago, Choo Choo Charlie, Tom Shepard. Gave us a recipe for a basil beer. So we put 14 pounds of fresh basil and 30 pounds of honey in a beer. So,
Any of them win? Any of them still on the shelf or willing to do again? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've done that beer for, it's 5 or 6 years now.
That's cool.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278. Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
Yeah. So you guys are really involved in the community down in Columbiana. You're good, stewards of the support of the community too. So what's the origin there? Like, why are you guys so involved?
I mean, our community shows us support, and we try to give it back.
There you go.
I don't know. We do a lot of events for fundraisers for local nonprofit organizations or local sports teams or whatever. Right. I think that all comes from a time when we're on Main Street in Columbiana, our small spot, and there was an event going on in town. They asked if we wanted to be a part of it, and we're like, sure, why not?
Right.
Yeah, everybody's in town. It's a great atmosphere going on, and they're like, hey, we'll donate 100% of our tips. That was when all of my partners and I used to bartend every weekend. So it was like, hey, we're happy people are in here drinking our beer. Let's give, that day we raised maybe $900 to give it back just in tips for a day or something. I forget what the amount was, but, and then it grew from there, tips for a cause turned into now, craft beer for a cause, where we just donate a portion of proceeds from the beer sales, let our staff keep their tips. But, we're open to ideas, and people bring, cornhole tournament. Sure, you want to host a cornhole tournament for Alzheimer's Association, coming up, why not?
Yeah, and I love the events that you guys have because they give people in small community a thing to do, something to do.
Yeah, fun, bringing people together. What we really do is offer a space where people can get together, a community space, and if you want beer, you can have a beer here.
It's
if
there.
You want,
it's available.
You want water, drink water. There's food trucks. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's watch our video here. You have the patio space, the heaters.
We do a lot of custom metal work. We have a lot of friends that are talented in what they do, so that all our metal fencing and sign we did ourselves with the help of close friends that are just very artistic and
very aesthetically
talented.
Pleasing.
Yeah.
Those tabletops are awesome.
Yeah, all those barrels were once used for beer, so then we moved them over to being used for tables after they're exhausted or whatever. So
the keg chairs, love it.
A partnership with a friend, Keith Campanelli, Pirates Life Pinball, him and his wife also own Austintown Pediatrics, and they've been involved with us for giving back for certain fundraisers too. But Keith manages all these pinball machines and some of the best, well-maintained and machines in the area, really.
And pinball has quite a following. A lot of dedicated pinball fans.
And we have Pinball League every quarter for 6-week period. So you come in and play in a league, and we give away prizes and stuff like that. We have 12 beers on tap. The ones with the tags around the taps are all brewed with Yarian quality malts typically, or an Ohio ingredient, but typically it's Yarian quality malts. So we have a partnership with Sam Yarian, who's the local farmer in New Waterford, and we use 60 or 70,000 pounds of locally grown barley a year. It was malted in Cleveland. Now I think it's malted in Pittsburgh, but all grown within 3 miles of the brewery. We have a disc golf course right in Harvey S. Firestone Park, right down like a block down the road. So we sell some discs there. We raise money for park projects, one of them being the disc golf course that we installed a couple years ago.
Do you play?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Any good?
And no. I pretend to be good. Do you?
No.
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 Well, next time you come down to Columbia, maybe we'll try.
All right.
All right.
I'm in.
We do Street Steel is a local company that makes the signs. We partner with Rat Creative, which is a friend and company in Lisbon. Does a lot of our T-shirts. S&T Engraving in Poland. Silvatica is from Salem, Ohio. It's reclaimed wood jewelry. Tap handles are from Street Steel as well.
Can't have enough tchotchke.
Yeah. There's a lot. It's slowly grown over the years. We used to have on Main Street just a one barrel. We used to hang stuff on the wall, and it just like cluttered up everything. So when we moved into this space, probably 2018, we thought we needed a dedicated space where we could have all organized merchandise for people, because people want to have a sign in the garage or a dog collar or wear a T-shirt. This is also where we keep our to-go beer as well.
Okay.
So we've canned and brewed brewed over 300 different beers since we've opened in 2015. So it's registered with the state of Ohio, served everything. I don't know if you'll be able to see up at the top of this. There's framed original prints from Hex Letterpress, Jason Vaughn. Our first canning and still continue to use his artwork and labels on our 16-ounce cans was laid out with the 1890s era press, letterpress. So it lays out with wood and lead type, and then we kind of digitize or vectorize it and change some colors and use them all can labels.
I do have to mention that was the perfect beer pour, by the way. She did a
fantastic job. You guys were here on bingo night, so it was just warming up for bingo every Monday. Bingo. This is we call this the ballroom. more pinball machines, but we also have mainly our live music performances on. Wednesday we do some open mic, Thursdays open jam, Friday we do a vinyl night in this space. Saturday we do live music in the afternoons from 2 to 5. A lot of local bands come and play. These garage doors, when it's nice out, are typically open too. I think it was rainy when they were down.
Did you say who did the mural work over there?
Yeah, Jackson Dunlop.
Okay.
He also does some can label art for us. So it's graffiti wall he did for us a few years back. And he also started a consignment record shop here. So it's called Right Brain Records. He's a collector of all things, but a lot of records. And he's putting some of his private collection out for people to come and shop. You can come, it's open whenever the brewery is. You come and shop for records and just take them up to the bar, and they'll check out at the bar.
Nice.
It's called Right Brain. Yeah, it's the newest probably addition to that space. And it also works well with our Boozin' and Groovin' vinyl nights, which right behind this, to the right, you could see the DJ stand. Another friend helped us build, Joe Shelby. But there's a in-house double turntable there that we invite local musicians and artists and people that are just passionate about music to share their vinyl collection. So every Friday from 7 to 9, you'll have somebody in there spinning vinyl.
Nice.
We'll kind of turn on the lights a little bit. There's a disco ball that goes on. And it's fun.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278. Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
All of these barrels are full of beer too. So we do some like bourbon barrel aged, big stouts and porters, brown ales. We also do mixed culture golden sours. So Jared and Greg filled probably 30 of those barrels just a month ago. So we'll add different, local fruits from local farms, each differently to a barrel, fruit them differently, put some other stuff in there depending on what we're finding locally.
About how long will it stay in the barrel?
A year.
Year.
We'll start. Yeah. So it's a slow process where sometimes a Brettanomyces or lactobacillus will change. Eat some sugars that aren't typically fermented with Saccharomyces yeast, and it just creates a more complex flavor in the beer. Kind of sometimes funky, sometimes bright acidity. Just depends on what they pitch.
Place is beautiful.
Thanks. The bar was built by Keith Campanelli. Also helped us build that bar, and a few other projects in the brewery. And I don't know if you could see behind this wall. There's right to the left. You can see there's a barrel wall. So we had 25 oak bourbon barrels that we kind of take the bands off them. And then you could put them, all the wood staves will come apart. You can see it right here to your left. Kind of looks like a basket. So those are all 25 bourbon barrels that were kind of separated and placed up there by Keith.
So do you just buy spent barrels from big distributors or right from manufacturers?
Sometimes we'll buy them in bulk. If we're looking for something specific, there are barrel cooperage companies that will buy a truckload of Jack Daniel's barrels or Woodford Reserve barrels or whatever from the distillery, and they'll part off, a pallet of 8 or so.
Now we're getting into production.
Yeah, you can see the Blanton's barrel there. So that was given to us for a fundraiser for the Lake Club. Ed Moransky gave us this Blanton's barrel and we were able to use it for several beers. Actually refilled again with a different beer. We used it as part of a fundraiser this past year at the Lake Club. But yeah, here's our production. So you can see the two empty kegs that need washed, but two lagering tanks to your right. We try our best to not only purchase ingredients locally, but purchase equipment, at least manufactured in U.S. stainless and U.S. manufactured equipment. So our brew house was purchased from Portland Kettle Works in 2017. So they're out in Portland, Oregon. It's all U.S. stainless, U.S. manufactured. That's our Christopher Walken cooler.
Love it. Walken. It took me a minute. I got that.
It's kind of inventory of some canned beer. That beer right there is Brew United for United Way reverse raffle coming up this Saturday at the Shrine Club in Youngstown. We have Vale's Ale too, is another fundraiser beer for Vale's Voice Foundation. We just had released that beer a couple weeks ago. Some keg storage. There's a hops in the bags and a bunch of sack lunches, it looks like. This is a foeder right here. The wood vessel is a foeder. It's a collaboration with Noble Creature and Modern Methods. And that beer will be released the end of this month, actually. We're calling it Foeder for Food. And there'll be more details of that coming out.
Sweet. I love the stainless look. I think that makes it look so clean and nice.
We have a little family history in Youngstown. You can see the Renner artwork and pictures on the wall here. But it has our great-grandpa was branch manager for Youngstown's Renner Beer Company right off Mahoning downtown. And so we got handed down a bunch of old beer signs and beer bottles and a picture from great uncle and stuff we kind of display there to remind us kind of a family history on the wall of family history about brewing in Youngstown. What you won't see in this video is our canning line, it's tucked around the one tank. You might see it's covered in plastic, but we have a canning line there that we brew probably can about 150,000 cans a year, maybe. I'm just guessing, but it's somewhere around there. But it's on casters, so it'll come around the corner, and we just connect it to whatever tank we want and can half the tank or something like that and keg the rest.
That's awesome. And I think the last time we talked, there was a shortage of aluminum cans, and everybody was stressing about having supply enough to be able to. Everything's bounced back, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was during COVID, I think, when everybody was shut down and they were only able to can. So canning manufacturers they couldn't even keep up with production because everybody was moving to cans and selling cans to go. We had a little bit of foresight to stock heavily, but at the end, we kind of were paying a little bit higher price for cans or had to use some Chinese cans that we really didn't want to, but it was only available, so.
Sweating a little bit.
Yeah, we're back to U.S. cans now, so and a strong partnership with Berlin Packaging out of Pittsburgh, so on a contract. So really haven't had to worry about much of supply because they'll contract. We tell them how much we're going to need in a year, and they'll have it ready for us.
Let's share some of the places if one of our reviewers wanted to go out and sample some beer. Where do they find them in bars, stores, and coming down to you?
Yeah, I mean, you could find, we distribute to probably 300 different bar, restaurants, or retailers in mainly the greater Youngstown area.
Okay.
We do distribute a little bit to Akron, Canton, Cleveland area, but majority to the greater Youngstown area. So I'd say...
Can you name some names, some notable?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in Columbiana, Homestead has, 8 beers on tap. Steamers in North Lima, Bunker, Steel Valley, Village Pump in Canfield, both Poorhouse locations, Draft House downtown, Bistro downtown, Warren. You have Weston, Maine. You have a few other places up there. I can't think of. Chop House, carries our beer.
What about grocers? Any grocery store chains?
Grocery stores, Giant Eagles.
Okay.
All typically carry 2 hip to sip if we can keep up with production. Sparkle, I think. A couple locations have our beer in cans. Then you have like retail locations like specialty beer stores like Chalet Premier, Lou's in Austintown, Vintage Estates, places like that. Owl's downtown here has some 2 hip. So,
any events coming up you want to let anybody know about?
Well, like I said, this Saturday's a United Way event at the Shrine Club, but still a good event. United Way of Youngstown, Mahoning Valley does great things. We got involved with them at the food drive with Moransky Companies a few years back, and they're doing great things for our community. So I would say if you're looking for an event to go to this weekend, Saturday will be August 19th at the Shrine Club in North Lima, Youngstown area, and come try the Brew United beer.
All right. Josh, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278, or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.